We all know that we share the planet with a wide variety of creatures. No one knows that better, however, than the people who live and work in the forest on a day-to-day basis. Whether it's improving stream beds for fish habitat, leaving snags for birds, and green-up strips for game, or creating man-made ponds and springs, Oregon tree farmers do their part to ensure that wildlife will prosper on their lands.
The Bandtail Pigeon Project is actually registered with the Conservancy Registry for a special project. And recently we've been working with Dr. Todd Sanders from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in a migratory birds project to develop specifically a mineral spring. Below the garden is about an acre of brushland. Actually, it had been harvested before we got the place, and it has chokecherry and cascara berries, which the bandtails prefer. Now they've already finished feeding on that. Most of the bandtails are now migrating down to California. But in about late August, mid-August, late August, the bandtails they literally hang upside down eating the cascara berries and the chokecherries. It's quite interesting. And that's the time they also need the salt water from the mineral spring. So next year we'll be should have it all set up for them to have minerals right here. One important thing on the feeders and even the water source, since they're artificial, they need to be cleaned. So each time we redo the feeder, we bleach clean it for disease prevention, and also pressure wash the trough to make sure that it doesn't have a disease problem.
And we have quite a quantity of wildlife here: deer, elk. We do have eagles that nest here. We do have some ospreys on the ranch that nest here.
And you notice the trees are standing out by themselves. Those are actually kind of pet trees. They had something peculiar about them. You can see the squiggly one there. They made good wildlife habitat trees, like the two snags you see. Those weren't merchantable, so we left them. They're a good perch for hawks. They'll be habitat for woodpeckers and so on. Leaving the snags is for the hawks, because it's always a good idea to have something around for the hawks to perch on to keep your rodent population down. Also, I don't like making things too neat. Nature is kind of random, so I like to leave things a little messy.
We've had large numbers of voles in our hayland, and so we installed raptor poles in the fields, and those are extensively used by raptors to hunt for mice.
We're standing in front of what's known as the green-up strip. It's required by the state of Oregon when timber harvests exceed 120 acres. And this is a mature stand. It's harvestable right now, but next door to it is a young stand of 3 or 4-year-old trees. On the other side also there's a young stand of 3 or 4-year-old trees. As I understand it, it's for the movement of game and for cover of big game animals and small game birds and so forth, have a way to migrate from other mature stands and developing stands to others.
We tell our logging contractors to work carefully around those wildlife trees so they don't accidentally bump them and knock them down. You walk around it, it has probably about 100 different dens and holes in it made by the woodpeckers.